The business of carbon in relation to forestry will be put under a microscope over the next 5 years. The topic is the focus of a new study by the Pacific Institute for Climate Solutions. The work is being done in conjunction with BC's main post-secondary institutions, including UNBC.
The Wood Innovation and Design Centre is an example of the province's Wood First policy. Now, the Pacific Institute for Climate Solutions wants to build on that concept with a 5-year study on ways to best use our forests to capture carbon.
The project specifically wants to look at how forests can be used to utilize the stored carbon within wood. So it's much better to use wood for building than concrete and steel, and if we can really look at silviculture practices to make sure we're planting quick enough, looking at carbon as a second aspect of forestry, that's the main crux of the project.
The mountain pine beetle epidemic has killed 18 million of BC's 55 million hectares of pine forests.
Since the mountain pine beetle epidemic has gone through, those forests have changed from being mostly carbon neutral to being carbon sources, so they've released that carbon into the air. But as the reforestation begins, as new trees begin to grow, new growth begins to happen, probably 5 to 15 years after that would have happened, those sites will now become carbon sinks.
It means some of the new growth is beginning to reverse course, sequestering more carbon, but there is always room for improvement when it comes to forest management.
Well, I think if we can manage our forests better, we can make sure that they are less of a source and more of a sink. And if we take wood and utilize it long-term in structures and buildings and things like that, that carbon is not going into the air, so it's being sequestered, it's being held out of the air. So I think that there is, a benefit in better managing our forests and use of wood for sure in terms of the carbon budget overall.
The hope is this study will make us smarter at managing that asset.
Instead of harvesting that wood and burning the residual, we're going to make use of that residual, or we're going to burn it here at UNBC as an energy source. So I hope at the end of the 5 years we've had some impact on policy, and policy is changing in the right direction to really combine that aspect of forestry and climate change as the two move forward.
The Institute will be meeting with industry, government, First Nations and academics as part of this project. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.